Hey there, I'm Scott and welcome to Home Field Kitchen. I'm glad you found us. Today we are making a pretzel, and specifically a Ben's soft pretzel from Hare Stadium, home of the Auburn Tigers football team. And this photo was submitted by Judy. Before we get into things specifically with football and the pretzel, I just want to talk really quick about Auburn University. So Auburn is a land-grant institution located in Auburn, Alabama. There's around 34,000 students currently enrolled at the university, and it was originally chartered in 1856 as the East Alabama Male College. Whew. What a name. And that school was actually affiliated with the Methodist Church. So it started as a private institution. In 1872, it was transferred to state control as part of the Federal Land Grant Act, which created a bunch of universities, public universities. And at that time, it was renamed to the Agricultural and Mechanical College of Alabama. Again, what a mouthful. 1899, it went under another name change, and it was simply changed to Alabama Polytechnic Institute. And finally, in 1960, it became Auburn University. Now, Auburn, the university has 21 varsity sports, 12 women's, and 9 men's. But let's talk about football. Auburn started play in 1892 as an independent, winning their first game against rival Georgia 10-0. Now they ended up finishing that first season 2-2, so that was a decent start for a new team. Currently, Auburn plays at the top level of American collegiate football, the NCAA FBS division. Specifically, they are in the Southeastern Conference, or more prominently known as the SEC, which they joined as one of 10 founding members in 1932. Auburn, rich history in collegiate football. They have claimed 10 national championships. The first one, 1910, and the latest, 2010. Now, as you can imagine, playing in a highly competitive SEC, they have a lot of rivals. But I think if you asked most Auburn fans, they would principally say they have one, the University of Alabama. They play Alabama. Auburn and Alabama play every year in what's known as the Iron Bowl. We'll get more on that later. Now also, again, rich football history. A lot of great players have come through that school, but really I want to highlight 3 of them. The Heisman Trophy is awarded every year to the best collegiate football player in the nation. Auburn has 3 Heisman Trophy winners. Pat Sullivan, Bo Jackson, who in my opinion, probably the greatest collegiate, maybe not football player, but athlete of all time, and Cam Newton. But let's also talk about Hare Stadium. Now, I know a lot of people mispronounce that, but I did my best. It looks like it should be Jordan, but it is Jordan. Trust me on that. Hare is located on Auburn's campus and currently seats around 88,000. This massive expansion from when it was first built in 1939 and simply called Auburn Stadium. That first game was a 7-7 tie versus Georgia Tech, so not quite as good as their first game, but decent all the same. In 1949, the stadium had its first renaming when it was renamed Hare Stadium. Now, Hare was a member of Auburn's very first football team and later served as dean at the School of Chemistry for the school. So an excellent choice naming the stadium after Mr. Hare. In 1973, stadium changed again to its current name, Hare. in recognition of longtime coach Shug Jordan, who coached the Tigers from 1951 to 1975. And the last little bit of renaming occurred in 2005 when they named the playing field after longtime coach Pat Dye. Okay, before we jump into the food, I'm going to finish up talking a little background about two epic moments that happened at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Obviously, a lot of great finishes, great games, all that stuff, but there's really two that are just epic in stature. First up, the 1972 Iron Bowl versus Alabama. So Auburn's trailing 16-3 with under 10 minutes to play, and they force Alabama to punt. Auburn's Bill Newton blocks the punt, and it is returned for a touchdown by his teammate David Langner, bringing the game a little bit closer, 16-10. Auburn's still trailing, but a little bit closer. And that would have been amazing if it happened once in a game, but it actually happened twice. Subsequent possession for Alabama. Again, Auburn forces them to punt, and once again, Bill Newton blocks the punt. And once again, David Langner picks it up, returns it for a touchdown, and Auburn wins the game 17-16. Auburn fans often refer to this as the Punt-Bama punt game. Obvious reasons. Second one, 2013 Iron Bowl. Again, versus Alabama. And for me, this is one of the greatest plays ever in college football. Alabama comes into the game, two-time defending national champion, ranked number 1 in the country. Auburn, pretty good team of their own, they're 10-1, ranked number 4 in the country. Tight game throughout. Auburn scores a touchdown to tie up the game at 28-28 with 32 seconds left to play. Looks like we're probably headed to overtime to decide it, which would have been a fitting finish. But Alabama actually moves the ball down, gets in position for a field goal at Auburn's 38-yard line. Only problem was, clock in the stadium says time ran out. So we are going to go to overtime. But Nick Saban, coach of Alabama, nothing to lose, challenges the call. After review, the refs put 1 second back on the clock, giving Alabama a chance to kick the game-winning field goal. So they line up for a 57-yard field goal. Auburn puts Chris Davis in the end zone just in case something goes haywire. He gets an opportunity to catch the ball, do something with it. Who knows? And sure enough, Alabama's field goal kicked short. Chris Davis catches the ball deep in the end zone, and when I say deep, I mean his back foot was almost out of bounds. So Davis catches it, returns it 109 yards for a touchdown and an Auburn victory. This play, known throughout the land, especially in Auburn, as the famous Kick 6. Okay, let's take a look at what we are doing. So let's take a peek at Judy's photo that she sent in. First thing, there's actually 2 photos she sent in. So thank you very much, Judy. I appreciate that because that gives me a little bit of an idea. Let's start over on the left-hand side, the unbaked pretzel. Now, one thing that jumped out at me, and I'll be honest, I didn't do my research into pretzels, but I vaguely recall usually the little ends of the strand that flip over the bottom, I recall most of those being on top, but this is on the bottom. I don't know if that's unique to Ben's pretzels or if it's just more common than I think. I don't know. Second one, you see the fully baked pretzel, partially eaten. I guess that must mean it's a good pretzel. Couldn't wait to get back to the seat. Don't know. But it's pretty basic. A little bit of salt on there, bigger chunks of salt. And that's what we're going to try to recreate. So now that we've seen what it is, let's talk about the plan. So here's what we're going to do. Now, I have never baked a pretzel in my life. If you've seen me on my other channel, you will know I am not a baker. So I had to hit the internet, check out a few recipes. In the end, I settled on a nice, what seemed like a simple 6-ingredient recipe. It's going to be 2 stages to this. One, we're going to make the dough and let it rise. And number 2, we're going to divide, shape, bathe, and bake. We are ready to get started. We got our ingredients. I'm going to run through that really quick. 1 packet of instant yeast, tablespoon of white sugar, 1.5 cups of warm water. Forgot to melt the butter. But I'm going to get that. It's going to be melted butter. Teaspoon of salt, and 4 total cups of flour. We got 3 in one batch, 3/4 in another, and then a little bit extra in case the dough turns out a little liquidy than I want. We have it ready to go, but we're going to mix this up in a couple different batches, which is why I have it separated. Just wanted to be ready, unlike the butter. Ready to go. First step is we need to add the yeast and sugar to the warm water. There's the yeast, get that out of the way, and the sugar, get that out of the way. Whisk this up a little bit. Again, I've never done this, so I don't know, but there we go. Got that. Looks like it's whisked in. And now we need to let this rest for 1 minute. So I'm going to pop over and get the timer going. There it is. Next step, we're going to whisk in the butter and the salt. Butter. Let's bring the salt around a little bit. Get that all whisked in. Okay, next step, we're going to add 3 of the cups of flour that we had. Again, they wanted in a couple, so this is going to get the start of things mixing. So we're going to mix this 3 cups of flour in. That looks pretty good. Next step, we're going to take 3/4 cup, add it, and that should finish it, but we do have a little bit of reserve flour over there for the board and the mix in case it's a little too liquidy. Well, I'm going to call that good and then move over to the cutting board where we have to knead it. There's still some flour in there, but I'm going to assume as we knead it, it will work its way into the dough. So we'll get started with that. So first thing, spread a little bit of flour on here. I'm going to knead it a little bit inside the bowl first. Okay, we're going to knead. One thing I can tell you after baking pies, this is definitely different dough than a pie crust. I think that's pretty close. I think it's good enough for where we're going to be. So we got it shaped into a ball. One thing I did pick up as I was doing a little bit of reading is if I press down and it bounces back, we should be good. So that's what it's doing. And next step is we're just going to leave this sit for about a half an hour. Covered, just out of the way. We'll do a little bit of cleanup. Make sure that's a little bit loose. Do a little bit of cleanup, and then we'll come back and we'll start to divide. It's been 30 minutes, a little bit longer than that. I'm not sure of the exact time, but it's been a little bit longer than 30 minutes. So it should have risen. And now it's time for the grand unveiling. Oh, look at that. It does look slightly larger, so that's good. So we're going to divide this. Oops, I have my baking sheets ready. Oven preheated. I got my ingredients for the soda water bath that we'll do, but we're going to divide this into 6. This is supposed to make 6 pretzels, so we'll divide it into 6, roll it into strands, and then we'll get to shaping. So here we go. There's our 6, so the next part is getting them all rolled out. I'm going to set the ones I'm not rolling just on a pan out of my way. A little bit of flour. I don't think I need it, but I'm going to just lightly spread it around. And then we start rolling. I'm going to do it this way to start. There we go. My cutting board, I measured it. It's a little bit short of 20 inches. Recipe said to roll them to 20 to 22 inches for shaping the pretzel. And so we got a little bit of a hangover, but that's good. So we should be good. I think that's what we're going to look at as far as rolling, and we'll do the rest of them. Trying to decide, there looks like a little bubble here. I don't know if I want to pop it or leave it and make that something different. I don't know. I think I'm going to leave it, so we'll just keep going. There we go. 6 strands all rolled out. Next, we get to shape them. We are ready to get these things shaped. Scale probably would have worked out better to get them more uniform, but we just got to do with what we have. Have my little cheat sheet of how to shape a pretzel. Got to remember, this one has them over, but Ben's has them under, so I'm going to go under. So I got to remember to do that. So we will give our first pretzel shape a go. I'm going to do it kind of backwards from what I'm looking at. So I'm going to roll this one out a little bit more. So it kind of just loops up like this and twists. Maybe a little bit more than that. So we'll do it like that and then twist. It overlaps. And then this just folds under. And that's going to go under like that. And there is our pretzel shape. Not too bad, I think. Move this over to the pan, and we are on to number 2. we have it. 6 pretzels, all ready to go in the soda water bath. We have our baking soda bath all going. Got the pretzels all laid out. So we're going to put them in 2 at a time. They only sit in there for 20 to 30 seconds. I'm going to go 20 seconds. Pull them out, do the next batch, and then when we get them all done, we'll move on to the baking stage. Okay, here we go. No clue how this is going to work out, but we're just going to do it the way we think we should. There's 1. And there's 2. And there's 20 seconds. Shake off as much water as I can get off. Slide it onto the pan. I'm going to reduce this. Okay, that's it. We're going to move back over to the counter, salt them, get them ready to throw in the oven. On to the nearly final step. We need to sprinkle a little bit of salt on here. I'm actually going to do 3 kinds. 1 to match the pretzels at Jordan Hare. And then a couple, instead of doing them all the same, I just want a little bit of flavor for us. So first up, we're going to do the just regular Mediterranean sea salt. It's for a grinder, but that's what we're putting on, and it should bake on there. They don't say to spray it or anything, which that might have been better. Okay, next we are going to use a Spanish rosemary sea salt. This was given to us, thank you Jim and Ann, as a Christmas gift. Perfect time to use it right now. This is going on a little bit better. And the last one, just for fun, this is a Hatch chili smoked seasoning salt. That smells wonderful, by the way. Okay, ready to put it in the oven and get them baked. Okay, they came out of the oven and I think they look really good. I baked them at 400 for 12 minutes. I had 2 racks, so I flipped them midway through, but it was 400 degrees, 12 minutes, and I think they came out looking good. We have the Spanish rosemary here, the Hatch chili here, and the regular pretzel. So we're going to get together a presentation for the regular one, put these 2 off to the side, and then come back and compare photos from Jordan Hare and what we made here in my kitchen. We are ready to take a look at how we did. There's the finished product. I'm going to pull up the photo as well and we'll give it a comparison. But first, you'll notice the photo is torn. The pretzel in the photo is torn a little bit open, so one section's missing. I'm going to do that right now and open that up. And that actually looks really good inside. That was not tearing so easy. There we go. Set that over there and lift this up and give it a look. I mean, it is really, I think it cooked wonderful. So now let's pull up the photo from Jordan Hare. You can see there's a little bit more visible salt on the Ben's soft pretzel, and it's in paper. Got mine wrapped in paper, a little bit different paper, but I didn't have plain white. I had my nice red checkerboard paper, but I wanted to use it anyways. Thank you, Isaac. And overall, I think we did good. It looks ours looks a little bit thicker than what Ben's at Jordan Hare is. But overall, I think it turned out wonderful, and I will be making these again at some point, just not on camera. Well, that was honestly a lot of fun. I enjoyed that immensely, and we did actually take a taste test of the pretzel, and it turned out really well. No idea what the comparison to the Jordan Hare one is, but again, this was a soft Pretzel from Ben's Pretzels at Jordan-Hare Stadium, home of the Auburn University Tigers football team. Photo submitted by Judy. Thank you much, Judy. I really did enjoy this. Like I said, it was a lot of fun. If you would like to see your home field featured on us, please send us a submission. Somehow, I don't know, drop it in the comments, tag us on Instagram. I don't know how this works, but somehow get it to us. And I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. I'm glad you found it. I hope you enjoyed the video as well. Come back and visit again. And in closing, War Eagle!